Turning to national news impacting us here at home. Just moments ago, President Donald Trump's signature tax legislation, known as the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, passed with a tiebreaker in the Senate. Local 4's Ian Mason has been tracking how the tax cuts could hurt hospitals right here in Nebraska and joins us now live in studio with more. Ian.
Alyssa, the Senate has been voting on amendments to the tax cut bill for over 24 hours straight, with the GOP trying to convince holdouts to vote for the bill. Those holdouts were Rand Paul, Tom Tillis, and Susan Collins, who actually ended up voting against the bill with Democrats. One of the group's main fears is how the bill may impact rural hospitals and their ability to treat patients. With Congress racing to pass President Donald Trump's budget bill to codify major tax cuts, that money has to come from somewhere. And one area the body is considering cutting is Medicaid, which many people rely on.
Somewhere between 12 and 16% of our patients qualify for Medicaid and have Medicaid only.
That is Sean Nordby, the chief financial officer of Mary Lanning Healthcare in Hastings. He says if these cuts go through, it could have major implications for everyone, not just people on Medicaid.
What people need to realize is once those service offerings are gone, they're gone for everybody, not just Medicaid. And we also have to think that once they're gone, it's really hard to get those services back, to start up those programs again. It takes more money to start them up once they're gone, and generally that doesn't happen.
Jeremy Nordquist, the president of the Nebraska Hospital Association, says that hospitals across the state are having to cut programs, and the passage of the bill would hurt them even more.
We've heard from our member hospitals that we're going to see service closures if this amount of cuts happen. We're talking about behavioral health services in western Nebraska. I heard from a hospital in northeast Nebraska that they're going to close their labor and delivery unit.
Hospitals are required to treat everyone who comes in, whether they can pay for it or not. This leaves them in a tough spot. If fewer people have Medicaid and hospitals can't be reimbursed for their services, those costs could get passed on to the consumer.
We often have to shift the burden onto commercial, privately insured plans to help pick up those losses because, again, Medicare and Medicaid don't contribute enough. We have charity care that we have to write off completely. So the only piece of the pie to help make up all of those shortfalls is on commercial. And, that gets tough, especially if you're a small business owner that's trying to provide coverage to your workforce. Now your rates are going up because government isn't paying enough.
While the Senate version of the bill does have a subsidy for rural hospitals, without Medicaid, these hospitals may still not have a choice about downsizing.
We see a lot of rural patients who come here and some of those services we won't be able to provide.
And we are still working to learn what was in that final bill, which was brokered only a few hours from passage. Vice President J.D. Vance was the first in the chamber to break that final vote, 50-51. Let's go ahead. I just got a statement from Deb Fisher's office, so I'm going to read part of that here. She said, last November, Americans spoke loud and clear. They want safer communities, lower energy costs, and real relief for working families. And today, the Senate delivered blocking a $4 trillion tax hike and investing in border security to keep America safe. She said she's also pleased this bill makes permanent her family and medical leave tax credit, and she also urges the House to pass this bill. And of course, the House will be taking up this bill later on. It is expected to face some resistance there. We're going to be tracking that throughout the next few days. I don't know if it's going to hit Donald Trump's July 4th deadline, which he says now he's kind of okay with skipping, but he does still want them to pass it as quickly. You can check this full story out on our news app later on today. Alyssa?